Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Austin and Jessie and Allie All-Star New Year's. So, this is the Austin, Allie, Jessie crossover. I forget what season the Austin and Allie episode it is, but when it comes to Jessie, it's in the second season. So this is actually my first time ever watching Austin and Ally. I watched the Jesse New Year's part many years ago, but I never saw how like it all started and stuff. And I finally just watched like the Austin show or Austin and Ally show for the first time tonight, and I can honestly say this is not my type of show. It's just not my cup of tea and everything, and but it was for some people because it lasted for 4 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Now the dude who plays Austin, I know who he is. Like I've seen him in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, but I had no idea at that time that was him because like I've heard of Austin and Ally, but I just like never watched it, right? And so like he had blonde hair in the Austin show and he had brown in the Sabrina show. And I was just completely taken back when I had found that out and stuff. Now the one who plays Trish, is it Trish or Tess? One of those two. The dude who plays Manny on Modern Family, that's his sister. They look just alike. Like just alike. Like it's insane. A couple of other members of their family look just alike too, I've noticed. And so yeah, cause I've also seen her on Bunked and everything. So with the Austin show, he performing somewhere. Let's see, the dude. Oh, the dude with the red hair, Daz. I remember him too. Like, I saw him in The Haunting Hour, but I first saw him on Smallville and stuff. Now the one who plays Allie, I have no idea who that is. Now when it comes to Austin and Allie, are they teenagers or adults or like what? I have no idea. But this Disney Channel, so chances are they're probably teenagers and stuff. But so yeah, so anyway, he's performing somewhere, and then I think they're in like Miami, and the test girl, she used her phone to like book him like a concert gig in like Times Square, but it made a mistake and did it at some pizza place. So they have to find a way to get him to like New York, but all the planes are booked. But somehow she was able to get one, but she has to be a stewardess and everything. So the whole plane ride there was pretty hilarious and stuff. With Daz couldn't decide what he wants, and the old lady's getting irritated with him. Austin getting annoyed by that little fanboy who doesn't believe it's him, and like all this other stuff. And so then the plane has to land in Philadelphia, and then they have to get to Philadelphia, New York by a taxi cab, but they don't really show that part because they had to hurry up and rush it. So when they get to New York in a taxi cab, they don't have that much money on them, and they ask the dude, is this enough to like, get to Times Square? He throws them out, keeps their bags, and while all this was going on, they cut to Jessie and Emma. They're like the only two from the Jessie show that actually guest starred on the Austin show. So that was a bit of a bummer. Stuff. Like what kind of crossover is that? I remember back in the old days of Disney crossover, everybody used to cross over and stuff. So anyway, so Emma's excited because Austin's gonna be there. She wants to go to the concert, but Jessie won't let her because like she's underage and stuff. And so then like Austin and them, when they leave to get to Times Square, I forget how they try to get there. I think they try to walk or something like that. And so Jessie and Emma, they coming up in the street, and they're at the hotel because they dropped the taxi cab dropped them off at Jessie and them hotel. So convenient, you know what I'm saying? So like, Emma still wants to go. Jessie still all love, but then Emma's all like, well, Ryan Seacrest is gonna be there, and Jessie's all like, if anybody asks you, you're 15 years old, or something like. No. If anybody asks you, 17 or something like that. No, Emma was 14. So yeah, anybody asks you were 15 years old. So then they go there, but Austin can't get to the top of the roof where he's supposed to get to. And so he bumps into like Emma and Jessie, and Emma's fangazing over him. And then so he explains how he can't get to the roof, and Jesse's all like, dude, when you're rich, you make stuff happen. She's not rich. She just lives with rich people. But she gets on the helicopter and she flies them on up there. You know, I've always liked seeing Jessie fly a helicopter. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like she doesn't have too many skill sets. And the whole nanny thing just came by mistake, and she wanted to be an actress, but you don't really see her do too much acting. So it was kind of neat to see her actually know how to do something. Like she should get a job doing that or something like that. So she gets him on top of there. He sings, he performs, yada yada yada, and stuff like that. And now it's to the good part, the Jessie episode that I like. So in the Jessie episode, Emma and Jessie are still at the concert and they're having a great time. And then all of a sudden, Bertram comes in with like Luke and Ravi. And then so Jessie's like really upset because she told him to watch them, but then they tell her that Zuri is lost. And she is like freaking out because there are like thousands of people down at Times Square. So it's like, how are they ever gonna find her? And Bertram doesn't seem to care because, you know, he don't like kids, but he tells them that they on the Jumbotron. Then soon after they're on that, Zuri calls them on the cell phone, and they assume that she says she's at the mall, but she says she's in the balls. I gotta say, this is really clever, having her get inside the New Year's ball drop thing. It's a giant thing. And so they asked her straight up, like, how did you get in that thing? She's all like, look, you know I like shiny things. One thing led to another, yada, yada, yada. Boom, now I'm inside the big ball thing. And it's like a really cool thing that she's in there. And it's creepy at the same time. It's like, man, how are they going to get her out? So they go to the building where the ball drop thing is at. And Robbie deduces that he can activate the controls to like bring her down and everything. So they do that, but Jessie's impatient because she's very worried, you know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. So she speeds up the thing and he trying to slow it down. So he goes like back and forth, back and forth. And then so like they finally get her down and Jessie's both pissed and like relieved. But then all of a sudden the machine haywires and then all the power in New York is out. And so I wish they would have like just revolved around that, like having the power be out in New York and stuff. But no. So for the rest of the episode, it turns out that Emma gave like Austin her phone number. He must be a teenager to get like a phone number from like a preteen and stuff. So in a way, at some point, like they end up calling her because they got nowhere to stay. And so at this point in time, Zuri is pissed for some reason at Jessie. And not sure why, because she's the one who went up in the giant like ball thing. But she's mad at Jessie for not keeping an eye on her, but Bertram was the one supposed to keep an eye on her and stuff. It's typical Zuri, like just her bratty little self, you know. So in a way, Austin and them finally do come over and they're excited. But before that, Zuri decided to write a poem about an imaginary friend. And so while they're there, like, you know, the entire cast is not hanging out, right? And Emma's going like bug wild over Austin. She cannot just like leave him alone. She is totally fangazing over him. Like she will not stop like looking at him. She's all in his personal space. Every time she talks to him, she leans over a little bit closer. It's hilarious. Like Peyton List is just like cracks me up. And so in this episode, Mrs. Kipling is constantly hanging around like dads, like just like lovey-dovey, which is making Ravi like really jealous. And so like they was talking about like music, this and that, and like what is it, they're gonna pay for like all the expenses for like, you know, the Austin people and send them back on a private jet. And so Jessie wants to use this opportunity because Emma's the one who set all that up so she can spend more time on the episode. she's all like, maybe you can get him to like sing one of your songs. So now Jessie is like very desperate to have him like read like her lyrics and stuff like that. Well, everybody hates all her songs that she wrote, but she accidentally messed it up with the poem that Zuri made about the imaginary friend. And so when Jessie finds that out, instead of confessing, she's all like, sure, I wrote it. So then they all like, well, we're gonna perform this in Miami and stuff, and you can come too and sing a duet. So they all fly to like Miami. So they really didn't spend that much time in like New York. And so this is really mostly just like an Austin type show. And so Jesse's all like, we just can't like pack all our stuff right here and now and go to Miami. But Bertram already had everything packed and just thrown them over like the staircase and stuff. So while they're there, Emma still won't leave Austin alone. Robbie is still like jealous of like the whole Miss Kipling Daz thing. For the most part, Daz, Robbie, and what's his name, Luke, don't really have much to do in this episode. That's normally how it is for Luke and Robbie in these crossovers. They don't really never have nothing to do. And so, what's her name? Jessie is starting to feel really bad that she stole Zuri's like poem. And so when Zuri comes to see what Jessie and them is doing, Jessie is like tearing up Austin's like guitar left and right, so they don't have to hear. So Zuri don't have to hear like the song being played and stuff. Well, at some point in time, they realized that Daz had like a rat in his pocket, and that's what Mrs. Kipling wanted. And so she jumps him for like the rat, and then so right before they're about to perform the song, she decides to confess to Zuri. Now I will say this. Because this episode is like so rushed and everything, they really didn't have time to like weigh in on Jessie stealing a little girl's work of art and saying that it's hers. Instead, Zuri's like, I don't care. Like there was no weight to that. There was no consequences to that. There was no like punishment for that. It was just like, hey, it's okay to steal, and that's like the moral lesson of the day. So that was like a really bad take on Disney. So shame on you, Disney. So they both perform the song, everybody loves it, and then they head back home, and then Bertram is like playing with his train dress. I'm not really sure. I was asleep at that point, and I woke up him doing it. So all in all, like the best part of this episode to me was the Jessie part, but mostly the beginning part when they was at Times Square and Zuri was in the ball. After that, it was just kind of like an okay episode. Not a lot happened. I like the whole part with Emma like evading like Austin's like personal space. When it comes to the other characters in the Austin show, they really didn't have to do. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.